card is,
All right.
this card is, that's okay. This card is primarily stamps and ink and paper. So your basics. And we do use the die cut. I'll show you the products we're using to make this card. It's called the Peaceful Cabin. We're using this stamp. We're using the trees. Notice it has a little fox and a fence. I love this set. I don't know, this card to me just, just speaks peacefulness, the quiet snowfall and that kind of thing. So
what color ink did you use?
I used basic gray.
Thank you.
And so this is these are the dies that come with it too. You can cut out the cabin separate. And on this card, we did use the die to outline the cabin. I'll show you how we did that, so that should you fall in love with this set like I did, I'll show you how we made the pieces here to make this card. Because once you cut and stamp, it's just, the assembly will take you very little amount of time. It's just basically layers, boom, boom, right? But it's so gorgeous. So this has got the hill with the fox. So if you wanted to stamp the fox, you could get, it will also cut out a hill for you with it. And here's the trees, and you can also separately cut out trees. And then they have the nice tall skinny trees as well, snowflakes. And then this is to cut out the fence that comes in the set. A couple other examples. We used a monochromatic card here, but notice this one has color put on it.
Wow.
So with the green trees, yeah, this was done by Kelly and I's upline, Susan Campfield. Love that card too.
Wow.
So, and that is layered too with the trees on one hill. I don't know if you can see that hill a little bit, and then the cabin. So, and then the fence she die cut and raised up.
Wow.
So love that. And she used snowflakes. I don't know if my camera is showing that, but snowflakes embossing in the back.
Yep.
Beautiful. And then this card Kelly made for a swap. And this is done in navy with the gray. So that's, the cabin just stamps so beautifully. It really does.
Is that a distinctive set?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because distinctive means that when you stamp it, it looks like there's 3D, because it's got different color levels when you stamp it. Yeah. So I'm just going to show you briefly how we created each one of these pieces. I'm going to show you how we did how this piece here was done. It's not difficult with the dies, but I did, there's a couple ways you can, when you have a die cut, how you can line up your stamps so it stamps perfectly in the shape. And I rely on the Stamparatus to help me with that. Having to make a lot of them and then have them so perfectly, I think they're fairly perfectly cut out. And that's because I used the Stamparatus on it, and I did the trees the same exact way. But here's what I did. Okay, so we're gonna make this piece here. And what I did is I used the die cut. Okay, so this is a piece that was just die cut using this die here. So I just applied it to the paper and die cut it. Then I have this piece here from the top. What I did was I put my stamp on my Stamparatus and I stamped it to get placement. Then I took this leftover piece from the die cut and laid it so that it lined up perfectly with that. And then I put it down with some washi tape so it stays in place. So each time I had to stamp a piece, I would take the piece that I want for the card and I would stick it in here. Okay. Nice. And then stamp.
Nice.
Oh.
And so so if you have to do a lot, or it's a stamp that you need, Stamparatus is your best friend at that point. So, and then the happiest holidays, I just put a little mark here to where to put the corner of the card so it would be straight. Okay, and then this saying, I love this set. This is a new set in our mini catalog. It's called Heartfelt Wishes, and it has Merry Christmas, Happiest Holidays. I mean, I just love the font and cursive on this one. So yeah, that's how this piece was made, was with the Stamparatus. Yeah. So I was doing the Happiest Holidays by hand, and I would catch a little bit of ink left or right, but it didn't happen with the Stamparatus because, I mean, unless you were really to press really, really hard, and even if I tried, I don't know if I would get it. But the Stamparatus is really nice because just a gentle little kiss with the stamp to the paper and it comes out really well. So that's how these pieces were created, the trees and the cabin.
Wow.
Clever, nice.
Yeah, but once you get it set up,
Mhm.
it's, you know, it goes pretty quick. So that's how those were made. They were all stamped in basic gray ink. And so we can go ahead and put one of our cards together. It's pretty straightforward. So you'll have your 3 pieces. So here's how I did the trees. Now the trees, I die cut that same way. And then when I wanted to stamp the inside, okay, I flipped it like this and then stuck this piece, the inside. So it would stamp the inside too. And had the sentiment on there too. Same way I did the cabin. So this, so what we'll do is this piece will get adhered down to this basic gray cardstock. This will be the base of your card. Now this piece, this first white piece with the trees, you're going to want to line up at the bottom. Don't center it.
Okay.
Okay, line it up at the bottom. This whole card is, you know, is going to be even with the bottom of the card stock. So it'll be even on 3 sides. Pretty even, I guess.
Okay. And it comes.
And it'll sit at the bottom. Okay, so we got that sitting at the bottom.
Mhm.
So our next piece, you will use dimensionals for this. So we'll flip this piece over, make sure the fold is on the left. When you stick it down, make sure it's on the left. But in the meantime, we're just going to fill it with some dimensionals so it pops up. Make sure you get the corners for sure. And then, you know, just several for the middle. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure we do the 4 corners. I suppose you can do a tree or 2 if you want. Just make sure they don't flatten when you nail them.
We're doing the underneath of it.
Yeah, so I did this. I put them around all the edges. Maybe you could put one in the middle if you wanted, but I don't think you're gonna need it because you're gonna put another piece on top of it. So I put several. Maybe I put too many, but definitely have it on the corners of the base and maybe 1 or 2 on the trees.
Underneath it. Yeah.
All right, so I got my dimensionals, I took the backings off, and now I'm just gonna lay it at the very bottom on top of that white piece of paper. Just so that all the bottom edges and left to right all line up. So it will look like this. Now, I should mention that white piece that you put on the top of the gray, that was stamped with the trees, and I didn't re-ink it. I stamped it once, stamped it another time, and then a 3rd time, and that's how we got the shading
All right.
for the trees.
Okay.
So now you have your beautiful tree line, which I love just the way it is, actually. So, but we will add our cabin, because we need a little cabin, and we will put this on with dimensionals as well. So put it on the 4 corners again.
So this goes down to the bottom also.
Yes, all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
Lined up, left to right.
Or just like- There's no supposed to be-
Dimension it again.
Yeah, and yep. The dimensionals again. All right, and when you've got, I took all the backings off. I kind of put it, made sure it was in the 4 corners and 1 at the top of the cabin. And then line that up with the bottom. And this, just lining up with the bottom, I've done the card both ways where it wasn't exactly on the bottom, but it was a 1/4 inch, and it's still, the card still, was standing. So that's the reason we use the bottom edges, so it would stand nicely.
Standing, got it.
Yeah, but it works the other way too, if you,
Don't want a
if your
little
paper, yeah, right.
tilt.
It's very easy to assemble, but I don't know, I just think it's stunning the way it looks like it has layers, the dimension to it.
This qualifies as one that will sit on your mantle.
Yeah.
Seeing your sign up on the wall.
Yeah, yes, exactly, yeah. There are some rhinestones in your packet, so this is where you get to decorate it with your rhinestones, and then I don't know if you can see it in this card. I also have Wink of Stella on here. I have it on the edges here, on the snow line.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but I put it on the rooftop, and I put it on the hill line and on some of the trees.
Put them on. See how she has them in the sky.
So for some of those in the room, I do have some Wink of Stella pens, but I have to make sure they're all working. I think they're next to you, Beth.
Yeah.
I'll pass them around. See if they're working. Otherwise,
Oops, sorry.
yeah, so add that to your card, because I think it really does, when someone's looking at it, I can
Oh, you
see
have one?
the
So
Wink of
where
Stella.
did you put
Where are you Wink of Stella?
Where are you winking?
What are you
I put it along the hills, at the
Oh,
edge, the
yeah,
very edge
okay.
of the hill. I put it on top of the cabin roof,
Okay.
wherever you think you want it to have some extra sparkle.
Should we see the
Oh, pretty, Carol. Just stunning.
Thank you. Yeah, I did get this. Yeah. I love this card too.
A little bit of pizzazz.
Little sparkle, little
Yes.
twinkling, little glistening.
Okay, I got some.
Karen Wood, I thought of you with this card because I know you like white on white or white on whatever.
I love it. It's my favorite
Oh, good.
because I am definitely the coming right over it.
Yeah.